Rheumatoid arthritis doesn't start when you get diagnosed. For most patients, it starts a decade earlier. In this video, we trace the complete 12-year history of one patient. Every symptom that was dismissed, every warning that was missed, and show you exactly where the disease could have been stopped. You're dealing with systemic immune dysregulation affecting every organ system. Now let me take you through a typical consultation where we trace the true timeline. A 38-year-old woman sits across from us, diagnosed with RA 18 months ago, on methotrexate 15 milligrams weekly plus folic acid. Her rheumatologist says her disease is controlled. Her current labs show RF positive at 48 IU per milliliter, anti-CCP 156 units per milliliter, CRP 2.8 milligrams per liter, down from 6.2 at diagnosis, ESR 32 millimeters per hour, down from 54. But she still has morning stiffness lasting 90 minutes. She can't open jars. She's gaining weight on methotrexate. She's exhausted. We start asking different questions. When did this actually begin? Not when you got diagnosed. When did you first notice something was wrong with your health? She thinks. About 12 years ago, I started having really bad heartburn. I was put on omeprazole. I've been on it ever since. 12 years ago, not 18 months ago. Did anything else develop around that time or shortly after? Well, a couple years after the heartburn started, I began getting these skin patches, dry, scaly. My dermatologist said it was eczema, gave me steroid cream. 10 years ago. What about energy, mood, weight? I was always tired. My doctor checked my thyroid. He said it was normal. I gained about 8 kilograms over 3 years, even though I was eating the same. Do you remember what your thyroid numbers were? TSH was 3.6 or 3.8. He said anything under 4 is normal. This is critical. TSH of 3.6 to 3.8 is subclinical hypothyroidism. It's normal by lab range, but it's not optimal. And it indicates early thyroid dysfunction. Any infections, viral fevers, travel-related illnesses? Yes, about 6 years ago, I had a terrible fever with body aches. My doctor said it might be Chikungunya, but the test was negative. The joint pains lasted for months afterwards. Post-viral inflammatory syndrome, 6 years before RA diagnosis. What about digestion? Beyond the reflux, any bloating, constipation, diarrhea? I've had IBS symptoms for years. Bloating, alternating constipation and loose stools. I just thought it was stress. Any fungal infections? Athlete's foot, male infections, scalp issues, vaginal yeast infections? She pauses. Actually, yes, I had recurrent vaginal yeast infections for years. And my scalp, those patches I mentioned, they were actually fungal. The dermatologist gave me antifungal shampoo. Chronic fungal colonization. Immune system constantly activated. Hair loss? Started about 4 years ago. Significant thinning. I thought it was stress or aging. One more question. When did the joint symptoms actually start? Even mild ones. I started having occasional finger stiffness maybe 3 years ago. Nothing severe, just a little stiff in the morning sometimes. I ignored it. Then 2 years ago, it got worse. That's when I finally saw a rheumatologist. Now let's map this out. 12 years ago, acid reflux begins. This is the first sign. Gut inflammation, loss of gut barrier integrity, increased intestinal permeability. 10 years ago, skin manifestations, eczema, psoriasis-like patches, fungal infections. The immune system is now attacking barrier tissues. 8 to 10 years ago, subclinical hypothyroidism, TSH creeping up, thyroid under immune attack, not yet severe enough for diagnosis. 8 years ago, chronic fatigue, weight gain, IBS symptoms, systemic inflammation established, metabolic dysfunction developing. 6 years ago, post-viral syndrome, viral infection triggers further immune activation, molecular mimicry between viral proteins and self-antigens. 4 years ago, hair loss, worsening fatigue, nutrient malabsorption from chronic gut inflammation. 3 years ago, first joint symptoms, mild morning stiffness. The autoimmune process has now reached the joints. 2 years ago, polyarthritis, multiple joints involved, antibodies detectable. 18 months ago, formal diagnosis of RA. This is not a disease that started 18 months ago. This is a disease that started 12 years ago with gut inflammation and progressed systematically through barrier tissues, thyroid, metabolism, and finally joints. Do you see the pattern? The gut comes first, then the skin, then the thyroid, then the metabolism, and only then the joints. By the time antibodies appear, by the time you meet diagnostic criteria, the autoimmune process has been running for a decade. And here's what's tragic. At every stage of this timeline, there was an opportunity for intervention. When the acid reflux started, address the gut inflammation. When the skin issues appeared, investigate immune dysregulation. When the thyroid began struggling, optimize thyroid function. When the viral illness hit, support immune recovery properly. But at every stage, conventional medicine offered a band-aid, a PPI for the reflux, a steroid cream for the skin, normal for the thyroid, NSAIDs for the post-viral arthritis. Nobody connected the dots. Nobody saw the pattern. And now she has established rheumatoid arthritis with 18 months of joint damage that could have been prevented. This is why timeline matters. This is why we take detailed histories. This is why integrative medicine exists. In the next part, we go deep into the gut. You'll understand why RA begins there, the molecular mechanism of leaky gut, how gut bacteria trains your immune system to attack your own joints, and why even the cleanest organic diet cannot get you to the vitamin D levels needed for remission. We'll show you the exact math. And if you want the complete picture, the full 2-hour RA Masterclass is linked in the description below and pinned in the comments.